Common phrase that we hear is that dogs are a man's best friend. Now, not everybody loves dogs, but this could be said about any type of pet. Pets play such an important role in our lives. Subsequently, we should play an important part in theirs. Rescuing pets from a shelter is better than buying pets from a breeder. It saves on shelter costs, saves you money, and saves hundreds of pets' lives. I've only had 4 dogs in my life, however, all 4 were rescues. Each has had their problems, but each has led to such wonderful companionship. As an adult on my own, I've only had 2 dogs with my husband. One was a rescue from a friend, and one was a rescue from a county shelter. Adopting from the shelter can save on shelter costs. According to an essay called Animal Shelter Funding by Gosselin and Associates, for shelters, it can cost anywhere from $375 to $658 just for the first year, just for one pet. Following years can cost up to $287 to $2,485 just for one pet. These costs include grooming, food, beds, toys, medications, vaccinations, and many more for just all types of pets. When pets are being adopted, these costs go down because they have less animals that they need to take care of. When you adopt, you are also putting money towards their budget for the pets that they already have in their care, as well as the pets that they will get in. When you adopt from a shelter, not only does it save on shelter costs, but it can save you money as well. When you choose to adopt from a breeder, they charge you for the dog's pedigree. You're paying for the pure breed rather than for just a pet. Pets have feelings and should not just be something you showcase. They should be a companion. For breeders, the pets they breed are just to be showcased rather than selling them to give companionship. Breeders are often more concerned about how much they make off a litter rather than finding those pets a good home. I looked up some prices from breeders on KSL classifieds for border collies, since those are the type of dogs that I have now. The prices range anywhere from $200 per puppy to $2,500 per puppy, and that's without vaccinations. At Davis County Animal Shelter, it costs $75 flat to adopt a dog, and that includes licensing, vaccinations, neutering and spaying, and a tracking chip. When you consider buying a pet, it's important to take into consideration all of these things. Not only can adopting from a shelter save money, but it can also save lives. Adopting from a shelter can save pets' lives through giving them a loving home. A loving home can make all the difference in the world for a pet. Growing up, a family in my neighborhood bought a beagle named Doc from a shelter. This beagle was bone thin and scared of everyone. The grandfather gave him a loving home, and Doc would only go to him. The grandfather later died, and the daughter could no longer take care of him. So my family agreed to take him in so that her kids could still be near him. It was difficult. Doc was so thin you could see his ribs and was scared of everyone, and especially men. As we studied Doc and his behavior, we came to the conclusion that he had been abused as a puppy. He had a few scars and was scared of everyone, but specifically tall, tall men. As we continued to show love, he improved. He still didn't like strangers and would occasionally not like something that we did. However, he did get better, and he was a great companion, especially to my sister. For Doc, having that loving home made all the difference in the world for him and for us. If we weren't to have shown him such a loving home, he would have most likely have been euthanized. When you adopt from a shelter, it can save pets from being euthanized. Luckily, many shelters are now non-euthanization shelters. However, there are still some out there. By adopting, you're saving that pet from being put down. I know that our dog Doc, he would have been euthanized, but by us agreeing to adopt him, we saved his life. Adopting from a shelter can also save pets' lives by giving them a better environment. I'm going to share a few personal examples. The first dog that I ever got with my husband was from the county shelter. His name was Bear. Bear's original family surrendered him to the shelter because they were moving and were unable to take them with them in their new apartment. Bear was then adopted by another family who had 4 young children and who had never had a pet before. The kids were left alone with Bear, and after a while, the parents walked in, and Bear was hiding underneath the couch with the kids trying to reach him, with a few scratch marks from Bear trying to get away. This was not the best environment for Bear, even though the family meant well and loved him. We then got Bear, and he got the right kind of attention and is doing great now. He's even an emotional support dog for my husband. And the environment made all the difference for him. This is also true for our other dog, Daisy. We got Daisy through a mutual friend on Facebook. He had posted something about Daisy and how she needed a loving home. My husband and I felt that we needed to take her in. So we contacted our friend, who then put us in contact with who had Daisy. They told us that she was their grandparents' dog, and that while the grandparents had meant well, they just couldn't take care of Daisy the way that she needed to be taken care of. The grandparents kept her in the backyard. Luckily, she wasn't leashed, so she was able to roam, but the only time they'd ever go out was to give her food and water. They never spent any other time with her. She never got to play. When we got Daisy, she was very hesitant to come inside and to be around our other dog. We eventually got her inside, and she chose to stay in her kennel for a long time. It took a long while, but Daisy now loves to jump on our bed and sit on our laps and be around us. She even loves to play with our other dog, Bear. She loves to chase him, and they play a lot. She still opts for her kennel every once in a while, but she's happy where she is. Both these dogs had some loving owners, but not the right environments. When you adopt rather than shop, you can do this with your pets. There's so many benefits to adopting from a shelter rather than buying from a breeder. It saves on shelter costs, it saves you money, and it saves pets' lives. And I know that not everyone can go out and get a pet. However, there are many things that you can do now. If you can adopt, please do so. If you can't adopt, you can always donate money or your time. There are many volunteering options available. I challenge you to look for simple volunteering options at your local shelter. You can make all the difference in the world for these pets. Thank you.